Tommy, listen to me. He is the contractor. He's the contractor, okay? I can't lose this job. I understand. Let's talk about this in the morning, okay? We'll talk about it in the morning. All right, good night.
Hey.
Scoot.
Monday at work, huh?
What are you still doing up? It's late.
Oh, crud, what time is it?
It's way past your bedtime.
But it's still today.
Honey, please not right now. I do not have the energy for this.
Here.
What's this?
Your birthday? You kept complaining about your broken watch. So I figured, you know. You like it?
Honey, this is... It's
What?
nice, but I think it's stuck. It's not...
What? No. Oh, ha ha.
Where did you get the money for this?
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
Oh, good. You started helping out with the mortgage then.
Yeah, you wish.
In The Last of Us, we are introduced to our main character, Joel Miller, in an interaction between the man and his daughter. Entering this story for the first time, we don't know what assumptions to make beyond knowing it is a zombie apocalypse story. Is it a drama, horror, survival, a spoof? It's not clear. What is clear is a love between our initial two main characters, Joel and his daughter Sarah. In less than a minute, we see the dynamic. They joke with one another. They are considerate of one another, demonstrated by Sarah remembering Joel's birthday and Joel's carrying her to bed. As storytellers, our focus is to engage our audience emotionally as soon as possible, and The Last of Us does this by making us care about their two initial characters. They do this by showing that the characters care about one another, which gives the audience a sense that these characters are likable. They give us dialogue that is playful and funny, and they show us a brief moment of vulnerability. While it is unclear what this story will be about, we understand that Joel is content. He may not have everything that he wants, but he has everything that he needs. He has his daughter. This is the character setup, the prologue to our hero's normal world. The point our hero will spend the rest of the story striving to return to. Now, when taking a moment to look at this and how it affects story, we need to consider why Joel is introduced this way. Why not just cut out the prologue and go straight into the first act? The Last of Us is a redemption story. And, while we could have learned about Joel's history through dialogue during gameplay, it wouldn't work, because Joel becomes very stoic. What the storytellers effectively do is give us a glimpse as to who Joel used to be, before showing us who he is in modern day. By providing us with a prologue, the storytellers not only give us an explanation as to who Joel is now and why, but they also provide us with an explanation as to why he changes over the course of the game. Additionally, the reasons we like Joel in Act 1 are different from the reasons we like him in the prologue. In order to get a full understanding of who Joel is as a father versus who Joel is as a survivor, it helps to see him in both roles, rather than simply being told who Joel used to be. Show don't tell, right? Once we have established who Joel is as a character during the prologue of the story, what we need to do now is demonstrate what causes him to shift. What causes Joel to change from the character we see at the beginning of the game to the man we see at our primary story's start point?
Hey, we need help.
Stop!
Please. It's my daughter. I think her leg is broken.
Stop right there!
Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians on the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't. Oh, no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me, I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby, I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby, I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, no, no. Please. 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 Please don't.
I've watched this game several times, and Sarah's death honestly gets harder and harder to watch every single time. It's a scene that never loses its emotional weight, never becomes any less depressing, and never allows the audience to forget just how much pain and suffering our hero has gone through. We see a hero who has been incredibly strong and resourceful up to this point fall to pieces. We see someone who has suffered such a loss that he cannot function. We see Joel's rock bottom. What the prologue has done is shown us, the audience, a glimpse of the story ahead. We have essentially been given the entire 15-hour story in about 15 minutes. Joel is a man who protects and cares for his own, be that his family or the people he cares about. Not only is he willing to risk everything for them, but he is competent enough in most cases to do so. When he fails at keeping those people safe, it haunts him, as we see moving forward into the first act.
I'm coming.
How was your morning? Want one?
No, I don't want one.
Well, I have some interesting news for you.
Where were you, Tess?
West End District. Hey, we had a drop to make.
We had a drop to make.
Well, you wanted to be left alone, remember?
We are about 30 seconds into Act 1, and the storytellers have established the new rules for Joel's character. We know that his need hasn't changed, because he is still having nightmares 20 years later about what he has lost. Tess tells us in her line, "You wanted to be left alone," that Joel wants to be closed off and emotionally distant from everyone. He even demonstrates a standoffish nature, ignoring Tess's injuries initially, before giving us a glimpse that he still has a caring side to his personality. The storytellers have given us another snapshot of Joel, a fundamentally identical Joel who has been changed by the world's changing circumstances and the loss of his daughter. It gives the audience hope subconsciously, by showing us that the original Joel we loved from 20 years ago is still in there, but he's barely holding on. We as the audience now need reasons to get invested into the survival of Joel's better self, and the attainment of his need to open up to someone again. But first, we need to see how far away that goal is.
You're recruiting kind of young, aren't you?
She's not one of mine.
Oh, shit. What happened?
Don't worry, this is fixable. I got his help. But I can't come with you.
Well, then I'm staying.
Ellie, we won't get another shot at this.
Hey, we're smuggling her?
There's a crew of Fireflies that'll meet you at the Capitol building.
That's not exactly close.
You're capable. You hand her off, come back, the weapons are yours. Double what Robert sold me.
Speaking of which, where are they?
Back in our camp.
We're not smuggling shit until I see them.
You'll follow me. You can verify the weapons. I can get patched up. But she's not crossing to that part of town. I want Joel to watch over her.
Whoa, I don't think that's
Bullshit,
the
I'm not
best
Ellie.
going
idea.
with him. How do you know them?
I was close with his brother Tommy. Said if I was ever in a jam, I could rely on him.
Was that before or after he left your little militia group?
He left you too. He was a good man.
Look, just take her to the North Tunnel and wait for me there.
Jesus Christ.
Just cargo, Joel.
A few things happen here. We're told the mission is going to take longer than expected. We see that Joel and Ellie are reluctant to be put together, which is common for a buddy movie. And we are told that Ellie is just cargo, an object separate from any emotional attachments or values. We are being shown Joel the smuggler's worldview. We are getting a glimpse of who he is becoming if he continues down the path he is on. Whether or not we as audience members know where this story is going at this point doesn't really matter too much. The stakes have been presented. Joel can carry on as he has for the last 20 years, cold and distant, or he can learn to live and care for someone fully again. The theme or question being asked in this story is survival enough? And the game does a great job of presenting arguments for all sides, and we are going to explore those perspectives in this video, while keeping our main focus on the character setup, development, and resolution for Joel Miller.
Is it?
What are you doing?
Killing time.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I am sure you will figure that out.
Your watch is broken.
This is the first time we see the dynamic between Joel and Ellie alone, and it reinforces the character of Joel as he tries to get through his life. He is killing time, alive but not living. Ellie responds by saying that his watch is broken, showing us as the viewer several things in a similar fashion to how they are delivered in The Great Gatsby. Joel's watch is broken to suggest that he is stuck in time and not going anywhere. He is not changing. He has made zero progress since the moment he lost his daughter 20 years ago, which we as the viewer can understand. We have empathized with Joel because we can understand why he is so miserable. Who wouldn't be? He has absolutely nothing except for a broken watch, which is a reminder of what he has truly lost. Simultaneously, Joel is delivering Ellie, who is very much a reminder that his daughter is dead. It's like making a recovering alcoholic carry around a bottle of scotch. Ellie serves as a constant reminder of what Joel has lost. This brief dialogue, literally only 37 seconds, provides us with two symbols, the watch and Ellie, while giving us a subtext line of dialogue about Joel's attitude towards life, killing time. We as the viewer now have a pretty sturdy foundation for traveling out into the open post-apocalyptic world of The Last of Us. We understand Joel's need, and, on a short-term basis, we understand his want to deliver Ellie to the Fireflies to get back his guns. We know that Joel is competent at his morally ambiguous work. We know that he is capable of caring for another person, shown by Tess, while also being capable of violence. Whether you are a storyteller or someone who just wants to enjoy the story, you have a sense of the character balancing scales. Our hero has the capacity to do something great, whatever that great thing may be, but is he willing to take the risk in order to do so? More importantly, what is the bigger risk? Is it dying, or is it losing someone you love deeply? Something that can readily happen in this cutthroat world.
No. No, no, no.
What happens now?
What are you doing, Tess?
Maybe they had a map, or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As
this?
far as it needs to go. Where was this lab of theirs?
Oh, she never said. She only mentioned that it was someplace out west.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us? About me?
I know that you are smarter than this.
Really? Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long time.
No, we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess! Now, we tried. Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop.
What?
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
You going on?
No, don't! Don't touch me.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Joel,
Let me see it.
I didn't mean for this.
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
Oops, right? Give me your arm. This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go.
No. That was your crusade. I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look. There's enough here that you have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's. They're here.
Damn it.
I can buy you some time, but you have to run.
You want us to just leave you here?
Yes.
There is no way that...
I will not turn into one of those things. Come on. Make this easy for me.
It is in this scene where our hero's actions finally begin to have consequences and redirect Joel's external want for the story. Wants are allowed to change throughout the story, but ultimately, the goal doesn't change. Initially, the goal is to deliver Ellie to the Capitol building and retrieve the guns. Now, the goal is to deliver Ellie to Joel's brother out west to fulfill an emotional duty to Tess. For those of you interested in creating your own characters and telling your own stories, a key point to make here is that Joel probably does not make this choice without Tess's support. If not for her, the initial want of delivering Ellie to the Capitol falls through, and Joel gives up, unwilling at this stage to hope Ellie's immunity is anything worth risking his life for. At this point in their relationship, Joel still has no emotional connection with Ellie, despite several moments of getting along. What is driving Joel is guilt and debt to a dead friend's hope. He is making the right choice for, technically, the wrong reason. Joel has not changed, but the situation has. With Tess gone, so too is the only person Joel cares about, and the only thing that really kept him from falling completely into the shitty person Tess accuses them of being.
Thanks for the heroics and all. Ellie. Hey, what are you... Joel?
Bill!
What are you doing?
Bill!
Let me go.
Turn around and get on your knees. Just calm down a second. Turn around. All right. Get on your knees. Don't test me. Just take it easy.
Any bites?
Oh.
Anything sprouting?
Oh, God damn it, I'm clean!
If I see so much as a trick.
Ow! Stop! Son of a bitch!
The introduction of Bill's character provides both the audience and the storyteller with the opportunity for comparison. Yes, supporting characters can function to support your main character in obtaining their want, but they also serve as a mirror, what is currently referred to as a character foil. While Ellie is our main secondary character, representing Joel's internal need to love, not just survive, Bill represents the opposite argument.
Look, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. A partner. Somebody I had to look after. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing. Getting you killed. So you know what I did? I wisened the fuck up. And I realized it's gotta be just me.
Bill lives in a booby-trapped town. Bill has schematics of town and supplies enough that he can actually be overweight. Bill is a survivor, the same type of person Joel claims to be back in the Capitol building with Tess. Bill makes the argument that having a partner is a safety hazard and a risk to survival, and this poses one aspect of the theme for The Last of Us, the theme we experience through Joel's character arc. Is love worth risking your life for? Or, put another way, is it enough to just survive, to exist without love and companionship? In this world, love is not just an emotional hazard. Love is illogical and causes people to act without thinking, risking their lives for lack of better judgment. Love also requires trust, which is something that Joel and Ellie do not have yet in this story, even though they get along and have cooperated well enough up to this point.
Let's gear up.
What? I need a gun.
No, you don't.
Joel, I can handle myself.
No. Just stay here.
Fine. Just wait around for you two to get me killed.
We are reminded as audience members that Joel's relationship to Ellie is strictly business, and that he is not willing to put himself at risk by giving Ellie a better chance at protecting herself. Look for opportunities like this in your storytelling. That scene is 15 seconds long, and uses maybe as many words. As far as the craft goes, these moments can easily be inserted into a scene that feels organic, requires minimal effort, and has so much potential and payoff. It is a setup for a payoff the same way Bill's speech about surviving alone is a setup for later on in his character arc.
Jesus. What, you know this guy or something?
Frank.
Who the hell's Frank?
He was my partner. He's the only idiot that would wear a shirt like that. He's got bites. Here. And
I reckon he didn't want to turn, so he...
yeah, I guess not. Well, fuck him.
As we can see, the idea of surviving alone at whatever cost is a logically sound argument, but the practicality of it is incongruent with Bill's attitude. He approaches his partner's death as coldly as possible, mocking his shirt, making note of the bite marks, but the evidence of his pain is in his face and voice. Bill can act like survival is worth it, but the reality is, Frank's death takes a toll on him, no matter how much he wants to pretend it does not. Up to this point in their interaction, Joel has acted similarly about Tess's death. He acts as though she is still alive and doesn't defend her when Bill makes fun of her. He pretends her death doesn't affect him, and it's not until this very same scene that we see him show some anger towards Bill's mockery. The Last of Us gives a very tightly knit story, where it subtly shows us, the audience, our hero and his parallels with the supporting characters, giving us a moment to feel the emotional weight of decisions and, rather than analyze the question of, is survival worth discarding love, forces us to feel the consequences of this choice. The Last of Us shows us, here is Joel, and this is what happens if he only cares about survival. Now, what we as audience members need is the counter-argument. What happens when we have a healthier amount of love, and what are the risks when we implement that while also trying to survive? How much of cooperation is based on trust versus necessity? And, since trust is necessary to love someone, where is the line that separates what we need to survive and what we need to have a life worth living?
I shot the hell out of that guy, huh?
Yeah, you sure did.
I feel sick.
And you just hang back like I told you to.
Well, you're glad I didn't, right?
I'm glad I didn't get my head blown off by a goddamn kid.
You know what? No. How about, hey, Ellie, I know it wasn't easy, but it was either him or me. Thanks for saving my ass. You got anything like that for me, Joel?
We gotta get going.
Lead the way.
You'll begin to notice a pattern in the seasons of The Last of Us. We are shown where Joel and Ellie's relationship currently stands. We meet a new character to show us where this relationship leads. Our heroes change or choose not to change by the end of the season. From leaving Washington, D.C. with Bill to their journey into Pittsburgh, Joel has been shown what happens if he completely closes himself off from Ellie. From anyone, for that matter. Even when she saves his life, Joel is still reluctant to admit she helped him at the risk of needing to admit he should trust her by now. We, the audience, are shown he is still stubborn and reluctant to change from the person he was at Bill's home. Ellie still can't be trusted with a gun, not because she has proven herself incompetent, quite the opposite. She can't be trusted because Joel is unwilling to trust his survival to someone else. It is not until a few moments later, when Joel has had adequate time to think about it logically, and also to be put into another compromised situation, that he relents.
Oh, shit. Come here, keep your head down. Right now, I'm gonna jump down there and I'm gonna clear us a path.
What about me?
You stay here.
This is so stupid. We'd have more of a fucking chance if you let me help.
I am. You seem to know your way around a gun. You reckon you can handle that?
Well, I sort of shot a rifle before, but it was at rats
Rats.
with BBs.
Well, it's the same basic concept. Lift it up. All right, now. You're gonna lean right into that stock, because it is gonna kick a hell of a lot more than any baby rifle.
Okay.
Go and pull the bolt back. Grab it right there. Just tug it. There you go. And as soon as you fire, you're gonna want to get another round in there quick. Listen to me. If I get into trouble down there, you make every shot count. Yeah?
I got this.
All right. And just so we're clear about back there, it was either him or me.
This is definitely one of the more formative moments in Joel's relationship with Ellie. It is the first time he is trusting her to keep him safe. It is a step towards fulfilling the internal need. Joel hasn't come to fully care about Ellie, but he has come far enough to trust her. While this is an impactful moment in the story, what happens next solidifies the change.
How'd I do?
How about something a little more your size? It's for emergencies only.
Okay.
Entrusting Ellie to keep the gun after the shootout, after the threat has passed, Joel is demonstrating that this change is permanent, that he trusts her in situations that are not just advantageous to his survival, but that may put him at risk. He is starting to develop genuine trust and confidence in Ellie, and made some genuine progress towards acquiring his need. However, what we want as storytellers is to keep constant tension between what a character wants and what they need. Before Joel can pursue his emotional need to care for someone again and relive the relationship he had with his daughter, we are provided with a reminder that things aren't that simple, and that loving someone has its own set of consequences.
I'm Henry. This is Sam. I think I caught your name was Joel.
Ellie.
How many are with you?
They're all dead. Hey, we don't know that. There were a bunch of us. Someone had the brilliant idea of entering the city, look for supplies. Those fuckers, they ambushed us, scattered us. Now it's all about getting out of this shithole.
We can help each other.
Ellie.
Safety in numbers and all that.
She's right. We could help each other. We got a hideout not too far from here. Be safer if we chat there.
All right, take us there.
When we lose Tess at the beginning of the story, we see Joel alone with Ellie. Bill's character is there as a kind of timestamp to show us this is how Joel will turn out if he does not change. Now, here we are in the next chapter, where the parent dynamic developing between Joel and Ellie is illustrated by Henry and Sam. Henry is an older brother, a sole guardian for Sam, and with that comes responsibility for his safety, and guilt for his lack of a normal life.
Sam, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Get rid of it.
My backpack is practically empty.
What's the rule about taking stuff?
It weighs like nothing.
The rule. What is it?
We only take what we have to.
That's right. Now come on.
Looking at Joel's full story, going back to the prologue, we understand the guilt he carries for his daughter's death. We can understand why he would be, not just protective, but potentially overbearing. While, to our knowledge, Henry has never lost anyone, we understand he has seen death and that his brother is all that he has left in this world. He is strict, but his heart is in the right place. It is a fatherly role he fills towards his brother, taking responsibility for every action and outcome the pair experience.
Henry! He's awake!
Hey, you. We're alive. Okay.
See? What'd I tell you, huh? He's good. Everything's fine. You know, Sam's the one who spotted you. You guys have taken quite a bit of water. What's wrong? Henry! Get back, hey. He's pissed, but he's not gonna do anything.
You sure about that?
Stop!
Joel?
He left us to die out there.
No, you had a good chance of making it, and you did. But coming back for you meant putting him at risk. Stay back. If it was the other way around, would you have come back for us? I saved you.
Saving you meant putting him at risk. This is the lens that Joel has always seen the world through. The willingness for violence and brutality is considered against protecting himself and the ones he cares about. We see this during the prologue. We are being told about it in this scene, and it will be shown again in further scenes to demonstrate a consistent part of Joel's character. In many ways, Henry is a type of character anchor, showing us a more objective view of Joel. The want is to keep his brother safe. The need is fulfilled in having that relationship with Sam. In seeing Henry's actions, it reminds us that Joel's actions are at times selfish, and that Joel looks a little different through an objective lens.
Ellie,
Calm down. Hey, Sam.
Yeah?
Stand with the post over there.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh! Henry! Did you see that?
Let's keep it down, buddy, okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
Now that the character comparison is set and evident, this is where I want to draw attention to the argument posed in The Last of Us regarding love and overprotection. The several times watching the game movie, I've always resonated with Henry the most because he is overprotective of his brother, to the point it keeps Sam from enjoying most things a 12-year-old boy should enjoy. It's understandable. A moment's lack of focus can result in death. But, from a toy in the store to simply catching a soccer ball, Henry is more concerned with Sam staying alive than he is with Sam's happiness. From a practical standpoint, this makes sense, but it also serves two roles. One, it asks a heavy question which mimics the main theme. What is survival without love? What is life without small moments of happiness? The second role this character dynamic has applies to Joel later in the story. It's hard to know for certain if Ellie's life is ever hers to give, if she would have ever had a choice in sacrificing herself to make the vaccine, because Joel and the Fireflies both tried to make that decision for her. What we see with Henry and Sam's character dynamic is a foreshadowing of Joel and Ellie's relationship. If Joel loves her the way a parent loves a child, will his emotional attachment take precedent over what she wants? Will his need to keep her in his life surpass whatever desires she might have to save people? This is a normal question posed early in the story so that, again, we see it objectively through Henry and Sam, so that ultimately it serves as a foundation when we ask ourselves the same question about Joel and how his overprotection may affect Ellie.
Well, it's safe to say those two have officially bonded. What are you doing?
Taking stock of all the food we found today.
I see. And how are we doing on canned peaches?
Did Henry send you?
No. Why would Henry send me?
To make sure I'm not fucking up somehow.
I'd say we all did pretty good back there. Especially you.
While this is not a direct foil to Joel's character, it is an eventual foil to Ellie's character and the dynamic she shares with Joel. As previously stated, we are shown the potential ramification of Joel's future actions. The choices he makes to protect Ellie ultimately fill her with guilt and causes animosity between them. Much like the gun is used to foreshadow the eventual trust developed between the two characters, the relationship between Henry and Sam is used to foreshadow how their relationship may degrade.
Last year I went back to Texas, back home. Most of our stuff is long gone. Most of it. Here. It's a little faded, but it still looks pretty good.
I'm good.
You sure? I mean...
I've said I'm good.
As an audience member, having seen Joel's countless wake-ups where he shudders awake from nightmares, we understand that Joel has not moved on from his past. This is a setup for this quarter of the story. It is a reminder that Joel will do his best to suppress his internal need to process his past and experience that fatherly relationship with Ellie, and rather pretend that he merely has a job to do, that Ellie is nothing more than cargo. One of the big things to keep in the forefront when telling your story is character consistency. We've all had stories ruined by characters making decisions inconsistent with who they have been for the previous 98% of the story. In The Last of Us, they do an absolutely phenomenal job of keeping Joel consistent on every level and in every decision he makes. The way he avoids emotional attachments are the same from Tess to Sam to Sarah. The way he prioritizes decisions is consistent, from leaving Texas to trusting Ellie to saving her, as we will see in the next portion of the story. And why it is so awesome that they do this consistency check at the beginning of this sequence is because we are going to be seeing it in action as Joel, for the first time, is really confronting the fear of obtaining his internal need.
Is this really all they had to worry about? Boys, movies, deciding which shirt goes with which skirt. It's bizarre.
Get up. We're leaving. Come on.
And if I say no?
Do you even realize what your life means? Huh? Running off like that, putting yourself at risk? It's pretty goddamn stupid.
Well, I guess we're both disappointed with each other then.
What do you want from me?
Admit that you wanted to get rid of me the whole time.
Tommy knows this area
Oh,
better
fuck
than...
that.
Well, I'm sorry. I trust him better than I trust myself.
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of? That I'm gonna end up like Sam? I can't get infected. I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
Well, we seem to be doing all right so far.
And now you'll be doing even better with Tommy.
Not her, you know.
What?
Maria told me about Sarah.
Ellie?
And
You are treading on some mighty thin ice here.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you. So don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else, because the truth is I would just be more scared.
You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad. and we are going our separate ways.
Joel makes several arguments in this scene. Tommy knows this area better. I trust him better than I trust myself. You'll be doing even better with Tommy. Meanwhile, we've heard Joel describe himself as a survivor, even going so far as to say Tommy survived because of what Joel did for them. But here, what do we see? We see Joel finding any reason to invalidate that Ellie would be, and has been, safe with him, looking for any reason not to acknowledge that, yes, he wants to get rid of her, but not because he does not care, rather because he cannot stand to lose her, an observation Ellie herself makes. To all of this, Ellie responds with, "What are you so afraid of?" A question brought up by Sam in the previous sequence. Joel is afraid of loss, as he follows up this question quite closely with, "You don't know what loss is." From a storytelling perspective, this is Joel's emotional rock bottom, where his fear of loss battles his need to feel anything. It also feeds into the story's dilemma. Is it better to have nothing, so you have no fear of loss, or is it better to have something, despite the risk it could be taken away?
Where is this lab of theirs?
It's all the way out, University of Eastern Colorado.
Go Bighorns. Ellie, get off your horse. Give it on back to Tommy. I'm gonna hang on to this fella, if that's all right with you. Go on, don't make me repeat myself.
What are you doing?
Your wife kind of scares me. I don't want her coming after me.
Sorry for stealing your horse.
Well, come back to town. Let's discuss it at least.
You know me, my mind's all made up. University, Eastern Colorado. How do I find this lab?
It's in the science building. Looks like a giant mirror. You can't miss it.
You take care of that wife of yours.
There's a place for you here, you know?
You good?
I'm good.
One of the interesting things about The Last of Us, and more specifically Joel's character arc, is that we are more or less at completion of his arc. This occurs at the 3/4 mark of the story, which means his normal 3-act structure development takes place during these 3 acts. His normal life of being closed off but surviving in Act 1, the struggle to survive getting harder and harder as he and Ellie traverse America in Act 2, hitting rock bottom when he essentially tells Ellie to get lost, but then acquiring his internal need by accepting he doesn't want to abandon Ellie, because he does in fact care about her, realizing his character need in Act 3. We have seen Joel change a lot up to this point. He is in a state of survival, similar to what we would have seen had Sarah survived. He has returned to this desired state of being, this state of what his life could have been like had he not lost his daughter. Normally, I would warn against finishing a character's arc 3/4 of the way through, because there is so much story left, and, at first glance, Joel is done changing. We invest in a story for 2 main things: watching a character change, and watching a character struggle against what they can't do. And here is where we find our saving grace, because even though Joel really doesn't change from here on out in the story, he still struggles against something he cannot stand to do, which is lose another person he cares about. It really is very impressive because usually in a story, acquiring our external want, which in this case is getting Ellie to the Fireflies, without satisfying the internal need, taking care of Ellie like a father, is what leads to a tragic story, or, at a minimum, is the story of our main antagonist. The Last of Us twists that paradigm by having us satisfy Joel's need to be a good father, which is a good outcome, and then weighing this against the need to save mankind, which is also a good outcome, arguably a better outcome. Keeping our focus on Joel, the following chapters of The Last of Us show us two alternatives, two perspectives, the importance of protection, and where that crosses over into selfishness.
Ellie. Ellie! What the fuck? You wait here. Now, the girl. Is she alive?
What girl? I don't know no girl.
Fuck! Focus right here, right here. I'll pop your goddamn knee off. The girl.
She's alive. She's David's newest pet.
Where?
In the town. In the town.
Now you're gonna mark it on the map. And it better be the same exact spot your buddy points to. Mark it.
It's right there. You can verify it. Go ask him. Go on. I tell you, I ain't lying. I ain't.
Fuck you, man. He told you what you wanted. I ain't telling you shit.
That's all right. I believe him.
No, wait!
The next portion of the story shows us something different about Joel's development. We have acquired the need. Now there is a fear of losing it. And yes, I realize I'm glossing over the portion of Ellie's story, but I want to keep focused on Joel as best as my ADD allows. When Joel wakes from maybe a month's worth of being injured, he does so with the same nightmarish start he has for the entire game. The key difference being that his first concern is Ellie. He has always woken up and looked around as if to see that his dream and current reality weren't all some hellish nightmare, only this time he is looking for his surrogate daughter. During the second scene, we see Joel, a part of Joel that we have been shown glimpses of back in the quarantine zone and heard stories about during the game. But this is one of the first times where we, the audience, fully see the brutality and lengths Joel is willing to go to in order to not only survive, but protect the people he cares about. We understand his desperation. Ellie is missing in action in a world where rape, cannibalism, violent murder are all part of the daily goings-on. There is urgency and desperation in his actions, which we can at least empathize with. And let's be honest with ourselves. We cheer Joel along during the entirety of the story, murdering hundreds of people for a mission we can rationalize in our mind. Who cares if cannibals are killed if it means we save humanity's last hope at survival, right? But there is a seed planted in this sequence that confirms that Joel's motivations are no longer transporting cargo, no longer fulfilling a promise to Tess or Marlene. He is motivated by the need to protect his daughter.
Ellie! Stop! Stop!
Fucking touch me!
It's okay. It's me. It's me. It's me. Look. It's me.
He tried to...
Oh, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay.
Joel.
It's okay.
In this scene, while it is not the technical climax of the story, it is, in many ways, the emotional climax of Joel's character arc. Why I would argue for this point is because of Joel's reaction and the overall layout of the scene. Joel refers to Ellie as baby girl for the first time in the story, a name exclusively reserved for Sarah, a daughter he never talks about, and a girl he failed to save. Both, in this scene and in Sarah's death, the audio goes silent. The focus is on the emotion of the characters, and two things are taken into account. While this portion of the story revolves around Ellie's lost innocence and a type of symbolic death, a death that coincides thematically with Sarah's literal death, it also shows us her face while being held by Joel, an expression that she is not alone. Furthermore, and our focus in terms of Joel's character, is that Joel still was not there to protect his daughter. Even though he does his best, even though everything turns out all right in the end, it had nothing to do with Joel's arrival. But, honestly, why the scene, why even their reuniting alone is enough, is because they are both shown as capable of surviving alone now, but together there is something so much more, something indescribable, but we feel it, we understand.
We don't have to do this. You know that, right?
What's the other option?
Go back to Tommy's. Just be done with this whole damn thing.
After all we've been through. Everything that I've done. It can't be for nothing. I got something for you. Here. Maria showed this to me and I stole it. I hope you don't mind.
Well, no matter how hard you try, I guess you can't escape your past.
In these last moments of interaction between Ellie and Joel, we are shown Joel's hesitancy. There is a part of him unwilling for the adventure to end, and I am not certain if this is to protect Ellie from the possibility that the Fireflies are gone, that her immunity doesn't matter, that their journey was pointless, or what. This is because Joel would not have brought her here if he ever had the suspicion that her life would be at higher risk if brought to the Fireflies. Based on the latter of these two scenes, and the way The Last of Us has framed or foreshadowed its story up to this point, I think Joel is afraid of losing Ellie once their goal is accomplished. He talks about how families were torn apart by the infection, and the world was turned upside down, then to be reminded of his daughter and his bitter past. The foreboding sense that something is inevitably wrong is then amplified when Joel says that you can't escape your past. Joel is about to deliver Ellie to a group of people he doesn't even know. The last time we saw him entrust a loved one's safety to someone else, she was killed in his arms. We are even reminded of this moment when Joel is giving Ellie chest compressions and the guard tells him to put his hands in the air. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we see his broken watch while this is going on. Joel is understandably stuck in the past, forever fighting to save his daughter's life.
Take me to her.
You don't have to worry about her anymore. We'll take care of her.
I worry. Just let me see her, please.
You can't. She's being prepped for surgery.
The hell you mean, surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine. A vaccine.
but it grows all over the brain.
It does.
Find someone else.
There is no one else.
Listen, you were gonna show me where...
Stop. I get it. But whatever it is you think you're going through right now is nothing to what I have been through. I knew her since she was born. I promised her mother I would look after her.
Then why are you letting this happen?
Because this isn't about me, or even her. There is no other choice here.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
And this is it. This is the kickoff to the major climax of the story, while it really drives home Joel's character consistency. We've had a man who has lost everything that has ever mattered to him, including his daughter. He has become a shitty person in order to survive, suppressed his want to have his daughter back because he was afraid of losing her again, relents and forms that bond with Ellie anyway. And now, here he is, being told there is no other choice. He has to go through that hell all over again. Notice how Joel still wakes up with a start, still wakes up terrified that he is losing his daughter all over again. And this time, he is. His worst nightmare is waiting for him the second he wakes up, learning that he has accomplished his external want, which was to deliver Ellie across the country, but it will cost him his internal want, having Ellie as his surrogate daughter. Now, why this is so emotionally heavy, so impactful, why this is an admirable piece of storytelling, is because often in stories the hero chooses to pursue what they need, forfeit what they want, and sometimes still get what they wanted anyway. But here is why Joel's character dilemma is so fantastic. Stories often give their heroes two end options, two alternates, which are either two bad outcomes or two good outcomes. Joel's choice at the end of The Last of Us has all four. Good choice number 1, save Ellie. Good choice number 2, save humanity. Bad choice number 1, let Ellie die. Bad choice number 2, allow humanity to decay. These choices are paired, where forgoing one good choice causes a bad choice to happen. The game is rigged against Joel, essentially, and while many stories have something like this, the audience knows the ethically correct answer. They understand completely what Marlene is saying. But, at the same time, we understand fully and undoubtedly why Joel does what he does, and, after it's over, we're left with a genuine question.
If it was the other way around, would you have come back for us?
Hey, wait. Back in Boston, back when I was bitten, I wasn't alone. My best friend was there, and she got bit too. We didn't know what to do. So, she says, let's just wait it out. You know, we can be all poetic and just lose our minds together. I'm still waiting for my turn.
Ellie.
Her name was Riley, and she was the first to die. And then it was Tess. And then Sam.
None of that is on you.
You don't understand.
I struggled for a long time with surviving. And you... no matter what, you keep finding something to fight for. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear right now.
Swear to me. Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.
In the final portion of The Last of Us, we experience the story from Ellie's perspective. For the first time, we are really given the opportunity to consider the story from her perspective, to ask ourselves what she wanted and needed. We see the way she touches her scar, in a similar fashion to the way Joel touches his watch, and in her final conversation with Joel, we have our last major character foil. While we have spent the story considering Joel, knowing his want to deliver Ellie to the Fireflies, but the need to have his daughter back, we now consider Ellie wanted to be delivered to the Fireflies and needed to know that the deaths of her friends stood for something, that her survival, and all the pain it entailed, was worth it, because her sacrifice might have changed something. We see that while Joel needed Ellie to live, Ellie needed for there to be a vaccine, regardless if that meant living or dying in the process. In these final moments of the story, we are left with our two characters. Joel, who needed to find a reason to keep surviving, and Ellie, who needed to feel her immunity, that her survival had a reason.